Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in your day.
Night, whatever it is.
Wherever it is.
5 o'clock somewhere.
It is. And No Coast Beer has provided us with a great sponsorship and platform. This is the official McCoy Podcast. I'm Jelani McCoy, as always, with my associate colleague, esteemed gentleman, wide receiver, dad, businessman, former AD extraordinaire.
We'll run down the resume list.
Yeah. Mr. JR Tolver here. Good morning to you, or whatever pseudo morning it is. We don't know what time it is nowadays.
You know how some people say that they don't look forward to Mondays?
Yes.
Right? I look forward to Mondays.
I do.
Yeah, this is my little sanctuary, my little getaway.
It is.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic.
Therapeutic, absolutely.
Very therapeutic. How was your weekend? I always like to check in before we get into the world of sports. How was your weekend? How was the man, JR?
It was all good, man. Just hanging out with the kids. A little bit of a sad thing, but it's actually a beautiful thing. One of my coaches from college, Dave Oden, passed away a few weeks ago from cancer, complications from cancer.
Right.
And he's one of those guys, right? And as I was sitting at the memorial service, it wasn't a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
It was a memorial service. It was a room about 500 people. You know, Dave Oden was the strength and conditioning coach at San Diego State.
Come
so
on,
it's
man.
just has a hell of a legacy that he left behind, right? But as I was sitting there and people are telling stories about him, I couldn't help but to think that, like, life is just moments, right? Like, when we leave and we pass away, people are going to take moments away from your life and how it made them feel and how it made them better, how it pissed them off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't help but to think, man, like, what type of moments are you leaving behind?
Yeah.
So that when your time here is done,
your legacy.
You got a lot of people saying a lot of good stuff about you. So that's why I say it's a little bit sad, but it was good, man, because I got to see a lot of former players, Kirk Morrison and Marv Underwood and Will Demps and Robert Griffith, all the legendary Aztecs that have rolled through the program. So R.I.P. Coach Odie. Huge impact on my life amongst a lot of other Aztecs, and happy I was to be there with the family to say last words and give some last hugs.
That's like we said, the coaches and the people that are involved in sports, even the strength and conditioning coach, you wouldn't consider that somebody that will have a lasting effect on young men's lives. And it's always good when you get an opportunity. You don't ever want to meet in those conditions, but when you see your friends and you realize how many, like you said, those moments, how much they mean and how many other people they've touched and how many people shared those moments with Coach Odom, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, and what's funny is, like, as a player, right, we're me-centered, right?
Very much.
And, when we're on the court or on the field or whatever, we're trying to get better. We're trying to get our points. We're trying to do whatever it is we're trying to do in the context of the team. But, Coach Ted Tollner was there, who was my coach, 78 years old, coached head coach for the Trojans, coach for the Raiders, just a hell of a football coach with a huge impact in and of himself. And then Coach Ken Delgado, who is now the D-line coach at the Cleveland Browns, right? Mm-hmm. And, as an athlete, going back to that, you think that your coaches are just going to remember you.
Right.
Not realizing that there's a lot of people that come through the program. A lot of
turnover.
Especially for these coaches who are coaching 30 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what can you do as an athlete to make sure that your coaches, all of your coaches, always remember you, right?
Important.
And that's one thing that I took from Coach Oden. Work your ass off.
Yeah.
Show up, work your ass off, day in, day out.
Yeah.
And every single coach that you'll ever come across will always remember your name, whether it's 5 years after you're done or 50 years after you're done.
And it's hard to keep coming every day and working your ass off because it don't always work out the way you want to.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? Sometimes the mental get a hold of one's ass and gets in the way. And I was always taught to work hard, had mentors like that, told you just come in and work every day, keep your nose clean, you won't have any problems. But when you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, it's hard to have that mental discipline to come in, especially in a sport like football. Basketball, I'm athletic. I'm bigger. I'm more athletic than a bigger guy, or said positions. I may be able to get away with a couple of things.
Yeah.
In football, that stuff catch up to you real quick.
Yeah.
You lose the athleticism play, goes out the door real quick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else happened this weekend?
Nah, man, that was
It
about
sounds like
it.
you had more of an interesting weekend than I did. I was burnt out. I did a lot of laying around. Today's my son's birthday. Shout out to JJ.
Happy
McCoy.
birthday,
Yeah,
JJ.
Happy birthday, JJ. Daddy loves you. So we just kind of had some pre-celebrations. Got him a haircut. So on the day he was, on his birthday
Fresh.
today, Monday, he was fresh, ready to go. He had some good. I watched some good basketball this weekend. He's just found out that he can shoot pull-up jumpers.
There you go. How old is he?
He's just turning 8 today.
There you go.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Light bulb is coming on.
Light bulb is coming on, but the right way.
Good.
Let's get into the world of sports.
Let's do it
right now. I'd like to start with the NFL. The NFL they can use some positive storylines and some good vibes right now. Anything on the NFL circuit besides? Let's talk about the obvious. Which means more? The one that means the most to me is Saquon Barkley coming out. He's already the 4th highest paid running back in the NFL. My man comes out and he gets some fully guaranteed cheese. $30 million guaranteed.
31
almost.
To be exact.
Yeah. Well, but if you're going to do that, then it was 21.76 in the signing bonus.
Let's not leave that off.
Yeah. So is this a good thing for football? Is it just going to be for running backs? I mean, Kirk Cousins also got a guaranteed contract. Is this the new way for the NFL? Are they going to allow this to happen?
Yeah, so Rashad Penny out of San Diego State,
yes.
Right? 23rd, 27th draft pick in the first round.
Yep.
Also received a guaranteed contract, right? $10.2 million, fully guaranteed.
Okay.
And I've never heard this before.
Right.
I think agents and probably players are starting to get smart. Now the NFL is still the league of the haves and the have-nots, right? So some people will be able to get away with this, whereas in basketball or baseball, fully guaranteed contracts have been negotiated by the
collective bargaining
agreement, right? So, but it's interesting. It's interesting to start seeing, especially Saquon, somebody who hasn't taken a snap,
right?
Hasn't caught a pass, hasn't made a block,
right?
To come in, fresh out of college and get a fully guaranteed contract. I think that is a precursor of things to come. I think the NFL is starting to shift.
Is that going to be a target on Saquon's back? Yeah, he's going to get a lot of touches. He catches the ball. He runs the ball. He's more of a downhill physical runner. Is that going to be a target on his back? Are they going to be accepting of Saquon Barkley with this fully guaranteed contract, or are they coming after his head?
They're coming after his head regardless. Here's the thing. You got a rookie coming in out of the league or out of college straight into the league, guaranteed contract.
Plenty of fanfare.
Everybody knows. Everybody is seeing. They're coming after him regardless. He's going to have to definitely go in and prove himself to be what we have made him as the media be before he even gets his first carry. They're gonna come after him. Now, I don't think it's gonna be malicious in the intent of targeting based off of the amount of money that he's making.
Let's hope not.
But they gonna make him earn them stripes. I guarantee that.
Yeah, well, even the more to be fully guaranteed because he's probably gonna be 30 touches a game at least.
At least
between rushing the ball and catching
special teams.
I was about to say they're gonna throw him back there to let him run back some punts.
Absolutely.
He's a dynamic player.
Absolutely.
So he deserves. He's gonna. I liked it. The fact. Okay, NFL. I love the National Football League. That's why I'm so hard on the National Football League. I know I give them a hard time on the podcast saying that they're behind on their efforts, but at least they're getting this right. But is this more of a representation deal? I don't know who did that deal for Saquon. Are these the agents and the representation putting this together? Or is it the National Football League kind of opening up the doors a little bit, understanding what it takes to be a player in the National Football League? I mean, it's a life-threatening job at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I do think right now it's a representation thing.
Yeah.
I think that the smart players are getting with agents who have negotiated something like this in the past because they feel like it's something that they want. Mm-hmm. So I do think it's a representation thing. I don't think it's a league thing. I don't think that teams are over the moon about giving guys fully guaranteed contracts, right? So shout out to Saquon and his team for putting a plan together and executing on that plan.
Yes.
But I think what they've done is they've opened the door for other conversations to happen in and behind Saquon.
Does this situation help Le'Veon Bell? Why won't they give Le'Veon Bell his money?
Because they don't have to.
But now Saquon has been paid. Does this alleviate any of the pressure for him the next month? Does it? He's come out and said he's no longer going to. This is his last year in Pittsburgh.
They don't have to. That's
happen?
my point. I know, man. It's crazy. And I look at the David Johnson situation.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't come into minicamp. Once again, I mean, I know he's coming off injury, but arguably one of the best backs in the league, if not the best back, right? Arguably,
right.
He decided under his own recognizance to come in and
just say recognizance.
Yeah, I'm trying to this whole flag code thing has got me.
The text over the weekend got you. Okay,
I'm reading and I'm doing a lot more.
Okay,
so that's on you.
Yeah,
that's on you.
That's no problem. Yeah,
but David Johnson is listen, I'm not coming to minicamp because I want a new contract.
Yeah,
and then training camp starts and he decides to come to training camp.
Yeah.
But they don't have to pay him. They don't have to pay Le'Veon, right? They have to pay Saquon. They have to.
Right.
Because you can't get him on the field unless you pay. You already got Le'Veon and
he's
David
under
Johnson.
A contract playing under the franchise tag, and these guys are under contract. Realistically, in the real world, they're in breach of contract, right?
Who's that?
Well,
if they don't play.
If they don't show up to training camp,
100%.
they're under the deal. That's the move, right? I'm not going to show up because I got 1 year remaining. Somebody else gets some more money. I'm not showing up there, you know what I mean, until y'all pay me. But in the reality, you're in breach of contract.
100%.
How much of this is going to be incumbent among financial discipline? Can you pull this move if you ain't got no money in the bank?
No, absolutely not. And I think a lot of that, if we're being honest, is that's what the NFL
is banking on,
right? Because there's not a whole lot of checkpoints in place to make sure that $180,000 or $300,000 or $500,000 a week is being spent in a responsible way, right? So there's always this connection where guys are at the back of their mind playing because they need to play based off of how they've handled the money that they've already received.
Right.
Now here's the thing I think about Le'Veon. So I think Le'Veon is an interesting case because he's at that point where running backs
decline.
They start doing this.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I say
touches.
He's had a lot of touches.
He's had a lot of touches at Michigan State.
Yeah. So look, it's and it happens quickly.
Yeah.
Look at Adrian Peterson.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, Adrian Peterson was a star and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
That quick.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that he has a very interesting situation because he's at that point where that decline can and happen at any time just based off the fact that he gets so many touches.
Speaking of, what is Frank? I like Frank Gore. If I was a running back, I would want to emulate Frank Gore's career. Is he retired yet?
No, Frank Gore still getting it. Frank Gore still getting it.
That's what I'm saying. What did Frank Gore do differently than everybody else? He was always available. I feel like he came back. He obviously came back from a couple of injuries at the University of Miami when he fell down. Then he gets in the league, and he's probably, I don't know what his years up at. He's up there. He's
10 or 11,
11, 12 seasons.
Yeah.
That's a lot. He got a lot of touches as well. So shout out to Frank Gore, and shout out to another running back coming back from injuries, Darren Sproles.
There you go.
Yeah, announced he's going to do it one more time. You know what I mean? Committed himself to coming back to one good season, and then he's going to call it wraps at the end of this year. He's coming back from an injury, to have that mental fortitude to commit to coming back from an injury. Right. I believe it was Achilles.
It was
knee. Whatever it was for a running back, anything
he tore
below
his knee completely up.
Yeah, anything below that for a running back is completely, you know what I mean? You need all of that
Absolutely.
at the end of the day. So him wanting to go through the rehab process, coming back to a team, he's going to the Eagles. They just won a championship.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot of, he's going to, it's going to be a job. But to say I'm going to do this for one more year and I'm going to leave, I think that's a beautiful thing.
I do as well. And you don't see that very often, right? You don't see guys going into the season saying this will be my last season.
Right.
You don't see it very often.
Not
it's always a conversation after the end of the year, right? Like there was a lot of talks about Robert Gronkowski Was he going to come back? Was he going to retire, right? Ben Roethlisberger, same thing. Is he going to come back? Is he going to retire? So I think it's a power move, to be honest with you, for somebody to go in and say, hey, look, this is my last year.
Yeah.
Right? I also think it could be a little bit detrimental.
Yeah.
The Eagles got some running backs now.
They do.
And so if the Eagles know that Darren Sproles is not going to be there next year,
right,
they might make the decision for him at the end of training camp that he's not going to be there this year.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit of a chess match.
Yeah, he didn't get that little guarantee, one of those new guarantees. He's still playing.
And they got some dudes on that roster. They got some running backs.
Yeah,
they got some running backs.
They're not playing at all.
So I'm actually like eyes glued to the tube to see how that's going to pan out, because I think that for Sproles, I mean, I like it as a power move as an athlete.
Yeah.
But I also think maybe he's opened the door for that Eagle organization to come in and make a decision that he was hoping that they wouldn't make.
Speaking of that door in the Eagles organization, they got a lot going on. They got Nick Foles and Carson Wentz battling over quarterback positions. They got
it's hard at the top, Jelani.
Oh, especially.
It's hard to stay on top of that mountain, brother.
Yeah, a lot of that oxygen leave up out of there when you go to the talk. Everybody can't breathe at the same time.
Absolutely.
You got to hit the Harlem Nights breath.
You know, the mouth get white around.
Look like you got the powdered donuts. Powdered donuts at the top. Yeah. So I'm interested to see, because I like Carson Wentz, and I've always been a fan of Nick Foles. Even when he was at Arizona, he just seems
big, man.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he might be
Drew
your height.
He
taller than Drew,
but you know the way he stands 100%. In the pocket, like he's invincible.
Yeah.
He can take whatever hit comes.
Yeah,
it makes people want to block for him.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Know what I mean, if you're gonna stand up there like you Tom Brady, like you God. Speaking of Tom Brady, speaking of Tom Brady and God. Because a lot of people, people, in the football world, he's regarded as the GOAT, the quarterback god. Did you see? Well, I just hipped you to the photo of Tom Brady looking really average,
real average,
next to Giselle,
who is not
average, even when she's not average or at her peak.
Right, 100%.
TB12 diets. You're in there arguing with the management about how your trainer should be in there. If you're gonna be in there arguing about how the trainer should be in there, everybody
you better have at least a cut
somewhere. It looked like he got a little C-section scar or something. I don't know if they had his little deal removed, but Tom Brady was looking real average.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing.
It is a good thing, man. I mean, if you look at some of the greatest quarterbacks that have played the game.
Joe Montana,
Peyton Manning. I mean, all these guys from Eli is another one. Phillip Rivers. I mean, listen, it doesn't take physically.
To be honest with you, the guys who've been the most have looked a mess.
There you go.
Except Cam. Cam been looking good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you follow Cam
go
on
to work,
social
though.
media.
Cam is a little bit of a freak when it comes.
He's been training a little differently here. He incorporates a lot of joy in his training. He's always around the youth when he's training.
Right.
That's
that energy, though, right? Like being around kids gives you that energy.
Yeah, that's how you keep yourself young. You listen to what they're talking about, all the little words and music they're listening to, you know what I'm saying, so they can't get nothing past you. He got kids.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
When you got kids, you can stay around kids so your kids can't get nothing past you. You don't want to be the goofy square dad who ain't hip on the Fortnite or, what they watching on YouTube or whatever that stuff is.
Stay relevant. You got to stay relevant.
Stay near the babies is what you need to do. And drink plenty water and beer.
There's water and beer, so it's like
beer
the same
saved
thing.
the world.
Yeah,
the Friars took it around. It was like gold currency. Do your research.
You always give me homework, man.
I always try to.
Man, now I got to do my research.
Having a platform, you got to reach out, man. Josh Gordon, not reporting to camp. Well, let's stay in the football. Josh Gordon not reporting in the camp. Said he's going to continue with his mental health discipline, with his training. I don't know if he's on a regimen or if he's got something going. It's clearly working. It got him back on the football field.
Right.
I like the fact that he said, I'm not going to do it, even though that's the trap. Right, everything's going good right now. He's got his name back out there. He's training again. He's regarded as a football player right now. Everybody's waiting on his talent to appear.
Yeah.
The easiest thing for him would have been done to
check in. check in and check out at the same time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that would have been the easiest thing.
Yeah, you know
sure.
what I mean? But it looks like that's part of that. Like I said, that is his training camp.
Yeah, 100%. And it also makes you think, like, we as a society are starting to take mental health very seriously.
Thank goodness.
Right? I mean, it's been long enough.
Yes.
You know, but to be able to see Josh Gordon come out and say, hey, look, physically, I'm great.
I can't get no better.
Mentally, I'm in a phenomenal place right now.
Yes.
But I need to continue to do this so that I do not have a setback. And then for the organization, the Cleveland Browns organization, to jump in and say, we fully support.
They've been
fully supporting
him for
That's
a long
incredible
time
to me.
now. And it's the Browns. They don't have to be fully supporting anybody.
Right,
you know
right.
They're taking L's constantly. You know what I mean? They're taking gambles on him. But they've stayed with him and I hope he doesn't get any blowback from this or lose his spot or they don't start chirping around in the organization, because at the end of the day, that's a testament to the Cleveland Browns right now.
Absolutely. I mean, it's super easy to support a guy who just tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can very well see that guy getting better if he's ready to play, if he's not ready to play. This whole like mental health thing.
Speak on it.
Something totally different, man.
Can't track
something
it.
Totally different. So I am very impressed with the Browns organization saying, hey, listen, these doctors, these head doctors are just as important as the orthopedists, right?
Oh,
so what we're going to do is we're going to let them dictate to us when he's ready. We're not going to put the pressure on him.
Yeah.
We're going to support him.
Yeah.
And when he's ripe and ready to go, we'll be here waiting for him.
Have you ever experienced any unknown anxiety in your time as a professional
Listen, I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. now just because of my experience as a football player.
Yeah.
I didn't used to be a morning person, but whether I set an alarm clock or not, I wake up every morning at 5 a.m. You know why?
Why?
Because when I got cut from the Carolina Panthers.
It was at 5?
No, it wasn't at 5. But when I got picked up by the Dallas Cowboys a few weeks later and Bill Parcells was there, I read all this stuff, right? Early is on time is late. He's cut all these people because of, them being 5 minutes, 5 minutes early as opposed to 10 minutes early. Yeah. And I from that point on, I literally I was so fearful of losing my job due to something that was in my control. Yeah. That for that was 2006. So what, the last 12 years, literally ask anybody, every morning at 5 a.m. I wake up. So the stress, it's a real thing. It's there.
I got something that's similar because whenever I was cut, like the last couple of times I was cut from a team, I was having a good year and I was I was having a good camp or whatever, and I was in a good place. But I got cut on the times that I was enjoying myself the most. There you go. Right? So that in my brain, whenever I was out eating, whenever I was enjoying a meal too much, whenever I was out enjoying myself too much, I would either leave if I was enjoying myself too much. I wouldn't eat if I found myself enjoying like a meal too much. Even if I was like 2 or 3 bites in, I still had like a hefty chunk of it, I'd be like, because in my brain.
Consciously or subconsciously? Like, do you look back on this and be like, man, or in that moment where you like,
at the moment, it was a thing.
It was just a thing.
It was just a thing.
It's crazy.
And then I dismissed it. Like, I guess it's a thing. Yeah. And I can't stop. You know what I mean? There's nobody really to talk to about it at that time. You know what I mean? But I just kept doing it. You mask it by just keep doing and going on. Whether as an athlete, whether that's training or whatever, video games or whatever it is that you do, you know what I mean? That's how you mask it with activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I'm glad that the mental health thing is coming up because the stress and subconsciously, consciously, things that are done in repetition that in normal life you can't go out here and do. You can't go out here and jam somebody up 5 yards
in the grocery store.
In the grocery store and try to get off or get a release and try to get past somebody. You know what I mean? You ain't jumping over by nobody trying to get a rebound or boxing somebody out or trying to. Well, I actually do still cross people over in the grocery store.
Just because it's got to be done, man.
I just hit you with a ghost little thing. It doesn't matter, young, old, you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
You're going to get this crossover.
You're going to get this ghost crossover. And I might just pull up on you. If I see you early here like, what is he doing? Then I'm going to come and a ghost pull up
there
on
you go.
you. You can find me in the Ralphs. I'll be tweaking
Step
out
up if you
yeah,
want to.
Yeah, I'll be tweaking out in the Ralphs. You know what I mean? So, anything else in football?
Nah, man, I think
Sperano.
Yeah. Who's that?
Sperano.
Oh, yeah, man.
Tony
so
Sperano.
you know,
speak on it.
Tony Sperano was my my offensive line coach when I was in Dallas under Bill Parcells,
Inventor of the Wildcat offense.
Yeah, which is funny, right? Because so Sperano and Todd Haley, right? So Todd Haley is the
offensive coordinator.
I think he's with
Pittsburgh,
the Browns now. He was with Pittsburgh for a long time, but I think he's with the Browns now. But him and Sperano basically split the offensive coordinator duties.
Right.
So Sperano was the run game coordinator, and Todd was the pass game coordinator. Let's see. No, it was Marion Barber.
Ooh.
It was Marion Barber and Julius. Shoot, I'm blanking now. But anyway, so run game, pass game, run game, pass game.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he invented the Wildcat, I felt like it basically like was birthed from that experience of him collaborating with the pass game in a way that not many teams had done.
Yeah.
So he put 2 and 2 together, which is crazy. Yeah.
It was disruptive.
But some of the stuff, you know, I was reading one of Greg Camarillo's tweets, and one thing I can say about Tony is that, man, he was just like loyal for sure. Like when he had his guys on the offensive line, he would fight tooth and nail for those guys no matter what.
Yeah.
And he was very rigid, but he was very fair, and he forced you to be disciplined, whether you was an offensive lineman or a receiver or quarterback. Like he was just that center point of, we always refer back to Tony to make sure that everybody's on point, you know. So rest in peace to Tony, to his family. Yeah. I'm blessed to have had the ability to play under him.
Awesome. That's very touching. You have some very touching statements. You're a very heartfelt man.
You know, man, I think passion is lacking in this generation a little bit. Just because I feel like everything is so surfacey, right? Like, so I blame it on social media again, right? So I'm only putting my good stuff out there all the time. Sometimes it takes a second, man, to really look at you know, some things a little bit deeper than the surface.
Can't run from the pain, gotta run towards it. Put your hands up. Yeah. Did you follow any of the Tiger Woods and Francesco Molinari and the British? You like how I did that? I spent some time in LA. So you know what I mean? It came off. So he just won the British Open.
Off your tongue.
Molinari.
Really nicely. Though.
And I just had some pasta over the weekend too. So it worked out. So Tiger Woods got walked down by Francesco. He does something. He doesn't have any. What's the stat, Brian? No bogeys over the entire weekend. Tiger did it. No, Tiger had a great weekend. He had a 1-shot lead on the back nine. Everything was looking good. Looked like Tiger was going to pull this thing out. Then Molinari comes out of nowhere and has a great weekend, ends up walking Tiger down. You know, we call it the walk down.
100%.
When you get caught from behind, you know what I mean? It's the same thing in basketball. Yeah. See, he don't walk Tiger down. Tiger apologized to the fam. Which was I liked it because Tiger humanized himself as a dad. He apologized to the kids because he couldn't pull it through. I don't think Tiger has anything to apologize if you get walked down by the Italian homie, whose Italians have evidently never won a major championship. So he did that. That was the only way you're gonna beat Tiger Woods. Did you catch? Are you following any?
I looked at Xander just because Xander's a San Diego guy.
Always.
Scripps Ranch High School and San Diego State. And J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, was putting some stuff out about Xander and how well he was doing. I was following the guys over at Extra Sports, and so that's really kind of the only real reason that I was really paying attention to it. I didn't even realize that Tiger was in the crosshairs.
Because it's not only important until Tiger gets in the crosshairs. No disrespect to everybody.
No, it's
else.
true.
Yeah. Golf is just better.
And how long has it been? I mean, I don't know.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, right? Like, how long has it been since? 10 years? 10 years?
It's been 10 years. And Tiger is still relevant.
10 years?
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
He could have gave up. He could have gave up. He been through it. It was, public divorce and everything going on with Tiger. They got him out there. You know what I mean? It's been 10 years since.
You know what the crazy part about that though is that we're still hanging on, waiting for him to come
just
back.
To win one. We'll take one.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if it was basketball and somebody was irrelevant for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But now we're still sitting over here like, it's just a matter of time before Tiger.
Down. Now let me talking about talking down. This is, I know we sidetrack a lot, but I went out this weekend, just wanted to get out and have a couple of beers as a dad. I had some free time to myself for the first time in like months.
Yeah.
So I went out and had a couple of beers, and this I don't know what she was. She was a young lady. She introduced me to this young man, and I didn't tell her. She's like, I think he played in the NBA or something, right?
Yeah.
So this
I mean,
dude,
why would she think that you played in the NBA?
I don't know.
Like I have no.
I don't know, but we not. We can't continue to fight that battle.
16.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just out here chilling.
Yeah.
So anyway, the dude like wipes his hands in my face, and he's like, "Oh man, he didn't make no money.
Oh.
Only the old players don't make no. The old players don't make no money no more. All the new guys make money." So I got a little irritated, JR. You know what I mean? And I went in on this young man a little bit, just a little bit, gave him some educational points into how ignorant.
You didn't bite your tongue?
I did not.
Okay.
But I didn't do a whole lot of swearing either, which I thought was a win at the end of the day.
That was like a facetious, like
yeah.
rhetorical.
No.
I know that you didn't.
Yeah, so I kind
tongue.
of schooled him a little bit how ignorant his statement was, and then he was like, he pulled out a couple of 20s. He was like, "You seem irritated. Let me buy you a couple of drinks." And he pulled out, like $60, you know what I mean? But what he didn't know is that I knew the owner and everybody in there.
Yeah.
Right. So when he was telling me that old players don't make money and new players look all the money and old players are broke and all this other nonsense, I quickly told the owner and the bartender, I just gave a hand up.
Yeah.
Right, and so his money was like no longer good there.
Your money's no good here.
Then I was like, the little $60, you know what I'm saying, that you worked hard for to spend and budget out for this weekend, you know what I mean?
Take that somewhere else.
It's no longer any good for her. But the great thing was, speaking of social media and people calling, then I called D Rose a bum, then I called me a bum, you know what I'm saying, in there when I'm in there trying to relax, and I had to pull out my old bum veteran card. He apologized.
Did he?
Turned around, we gave each other a big hug. He sat around for a minute. He said, "Man, as a man, I apologize." So I talked to him another 3 to 5 minutes about how great it was that he apologized, you know what I mean, as a man. And he learned something that day, you know what I mean. I don't know why. It just felt like I had to say that. Then I had an Uber drive with another, drive with another young man who I explained the situation to, and he was just over from Nigeria.
Okay.
So we was talking about the difference between being raised as a Nigerian in America and being raised as, you know what I mean, a black man or an African American. Speaking of black or African American, do you get irritated when somebody calls you black or African American?
Nah, I'm cool with either one. I tell people I'm half black, half African American to make myself sound more exotic.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, this just makes me sound exotic because everybody's half. My kids are half black, half Dominican, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be exotic. I'm half black, half African American.
Man,
that's my answer.
We copyrighted it right here. This is all copyrighted. Manny Machado. Dodgers make a big move for Manny Machado, sliding on right into Major League Baseball. Dodgers make a big deal for Manny Machado, all-star, almost probably one of the better players in Major League Baseball. Traded 5 players for him. They're only going to have him for 2 months. It's really a boss move. Yeah. Are you impressed with this move?
I'm impressed with anybody that is in contention, right, that does something right before it's time to solidify, to try to make themselves better.
That's what I said,
right?
JR.
Like I'm really impressed with it. I don't care what sport it is. Those who rest on their laurels get their ass kicked at some point, right? So I love to see when teams are good and they continue to make moves to get better.
I love it. I love when that happens. I said it earlier. I like the vanguardness of the Dodgers and whatever they're doing. They're sometimes throwing money at a problem doesn't help until it does.
Until it does.
Until it does. You know what I mean? And they seem to have got that figured out. But they're good on paper. They never really win. They get everybody excited. And then Kershaw goes out there and lays an egg.
Right.
You know what I mean? But look, hopefully they can get that thing. L.A.
Yeah.
They're making a run at it across the board.
They are making a run at it. And I think L.A. has lost some of its luster.
In sports.
Yeah. Right?
They're trying to get it back.
They're trying to get it back. It started, I think, with the Rams last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams did a great job of becoming the team in L.A.
Vanguard hired the young coach.
And really started playing towards, the energy that – I mean, Los Angeles wants to – they're a little bit of a band. I mean, you play for the Lakers, right? They want to jump on board. You just got to give them a reason.
You got to win first.
You don't
have to give them a reason. You got to win.
That's the reason.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You need to win off top. Yeah, so
absolutely.
They're going in across the board with LeBron, like you said, the Rams.
The Clippers almost pulled it off, right?
They did.
Think about what the Clippers did when they brought Doc Rivers and Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
They did.
They almost.
But they gone.
They gone. It's
now
a wrap.
It's Gore Todd.
It's like it never happened.
And you know what I mean? They had their little chance.
But they almost pulled it off.
But then they re-signed Doc Rivers. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either, man.
I don't get it. Doc Rivers, I mean, he's had some success. He's had some great players. He's had some outstanding players. I don't know if he revolutionized anything in basketball at all. I know he's a player's coach, and he could talk to players a little better. But Doc Rivers, he's running. Seemed to be running a couple players the wrong way. He didn't chase the way. I mean, Blake gone, DJ gone, CP3 gone, Matt Barnes gone, JC. Everybody gone except Doc Rivers. Then he got his own kid up out of there.
This is the downfall of being a player's coach, right?
It is.
If you are Bill Belichick, it doesn't matter who comes in or who goes out. Everybody knows the Patriot way, right? When you're a player's coach, it's a little bit easier to – matter of fact, James Harrison said this about Mike Tomlin over the weekend. He said, look, they asked him, who's a better coach, Mike Tomlin or Bill Belichick? Mm-hmm. And he said, Bill Belichick. They said, why? They said, because he holds us accountable.
Right.
I wish Mike Tomlin would hold guys accountable, right? And so when you're a player's coach, it's easy to kind of like sway to the left or sway to the right, and before long you're pendulum them all over the place, right? And so I think with Doc Rivers, that's really his issue.
Yeah.
And you know who else could run into that same thing down the road is Steve Kerr.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Steve Kerr has some great assistants that absorb all of that from like Mike Brown. Like Mike Brown is everything that Steve Kerr doesn't want to be. He's totally detailed. Remember when he was with the Lakers, he liked to have 3-hour practices, and they're like the good yin and yang.
That's a good point.
That's the new thing in the NBA that they got mastered. The first assistant, he probably could be a head coach.
Yeah.
He just ain't nobody trying to hear all that no more. You know what I mean? So they get a good guy who sits in between both. You know what I mean? Obviously good with the X and O's, but obviously he can come in and look at everybody and be like, we're just going to shoot some free throws and get out of here.
That's what we're going to do.
You know what I mean? Because it don't look like everybody's dialed in today. It has to be, it's the yin and yang, like you said. It's balanced.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
Phil Jackson, have never been kicked off of a football field before in my life.
PJ used to come in to practice. We meet before practice, talk about what we're going to get down. He'll go around, look everybody in the eye, and he'll be like, let's just shoot some free throws and get out of here. Or he'll be like, okay, you guys got 10 shots to make a half-court shot. You make a half-court shot, practice is over. And we up out of here.
No, I've never seen. In football, it's like, focus up. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys ain't going to focus up? All right, we about to go harder.
Punishment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I've never
in
my life been kicked off of a football field or let off early or anything like that.
It's fear-based.
Yeah, it
is. A lot
of
what football is fear-based.
100%.
Like I said, I love football, but basketball is more of, I mean, you can try. You know what I mean? You could try to scare us, but
is Popovich like that? Is he a Belichick? Or is he more of a...
He just got a good system. But the Spurs are broken. So we don't know what Popovich is as 2018.
Yeah.
Tony out of there, Manu hanging on there. Kawhi wants to get up out of there. So we don't know what's going on over there with Pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, at the end of the day. So they're going through a transition. Maybe they need to find a new Pop. Maybe Pop need to run to the front, slide to the front office and let one of them assistants, you know what I mean, take it over for a little while.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
Could be interesting. But speaking of interesting, are you interested in Kawhi Leonard now? A San Diego State guy,
San Diego
perfect.
State,
We're
yeah.
talking about an Aztec.
Another
I was
Aztec
with
on
the
board.
boss move that he said he wanted to play with the Lakers. Now all of a sudden I'm not interested in Kawhi. I played in the 6. I love Toronto. But if you're going to make a boss move and say you want to get to L.A. and they trade your ass to Canada, you know what I mean. It's gonna. I know they're only renting him for a year, and he can sign with LA, but LA might not want him next year.
Right. You know, I was actually more surprised that they got rid of DeRozan.
Yeah,
I mean that's
a dirty game.
That's the face of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's their premier player, and they
it
give
ain't
him
Lowry.
up. Well, look, they give him up to get somebody that they're only going to keep. That they possibly could only keep for a year. That was extremely confusing to me.
Yeah, and the coach.
That was.
So
dumb.
what's going on? I hope they just ain't relying on Drake to get his ass out there because his jump shot is whack.
Yeah, his mouth is definitely better than his jumper.
Yeah. We ain't trying to see Drake come out there and play no basketball.
Nobody want to see that.
Nah. Keep performing, but. Kawhi, like I said, I was excited for him. I thought he was going to get to L.A. Then he wanted the Clippers. Then there was rumors that he didn't want to play with LeBron James. Ain't nobody trying to hear that either at the end of the day. Sounds like you want to go somewhere and hide.
What happened?
What did happen?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing.
He got some bad information.
Does Kawhi go to Toronto and stay Kawhi, or does he disappear, right? Like, I think about, like, Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Blake Griffin since they traded him to the Pistons.
He ain't got no responsibilities in the
None.
Pistons. He ain't supposed to go to the playoffs. I mean, he probably going to go to the All-Star game because he in the Eastern Conference, and I don't know what the 4 and 5 situation is like. But he don't got no responsibility.
None.
Zero.
So when I look at this move, I'm like, is this if you trade Kobe, LeBron, right? You take LeBron off of one team, you put him on another team. You now expect that team to be the greatest team just because LeBron is there.
Absolutely.
I don't feel the same way.
No.
Now listen, this is coming from an Aztec, right? Coming from somebody who watched this kid play as an 18-year-old.
You're allowed to speak on it.
And rock and roll.
Speak
but
on
I
it.
just, I don't see the urgency of moving him from San Antonio to Toronto. And that label following with him. I do feel like you said, has lost his luster a little bit.
I get them not trading him in the Western Conference. I get that, from the Spurs point,
Absolutely.
like, especially to the Lakers. Like,
Absolutely.
y'all tripping. We're going to get y'all Kawhi and let y'all beat up on us 8 games during the year. I don't think so. But something going on in Toronto. They done fired the good coach. You know what I mean? Got DeMar DeRozan up out of there.
He wasn't that good, was he?
Who?
The coach. It was just the
Casey?
coach of the year. I mean, it wasn't like he was.
Still picked up a job in
it wasn't like he had the
week
best
and a
record
half.
in the East or anything like that. Yeah.
And it's not the Toronto's roster is not like that.
Yeah, that was an interesting move to say the least.
It is.
Yeah.
Other interesting moves: the defacing of the LeBron James mural.
Second time.
What's going on?
Second time.
What's the problem?
You know what it is? Get on Twitter and talk about LeBron and Laker fans show up to defend Kobe.
Last time I checked, Kobe
You know what I'm
was
saying?
winning Oscars.
I know, but it's like they can't let it
go.
go. Yeah,
but it's not like we played against them in the championship.
You know what it is?
We never got the
GOAT
Cavs.
conversation.
We never got the Cavs Lakers championship or the Miami Heat one that everybody so desires. So
Right.
get over it.
But it's the GOAT conversation, right? It's like people have been arguing so long that LeBron is not as good as Kobe, and now all of a sudden,
now we about to find out.
Well, now we about to find, but they don't want to let it go, right? So it's funny.
That's that social media BS, man.
Look, I tweeted something
Yeah.
when he got picked up. I'm like, so now if LeBron wins a title in LA,
What y'all gonna do?
does he become the GOAT?
What y'all gonna do?
I don't I don't know.
Y'all gonna fight it? Y'all gonna put an asterisk next to it? Y'all gonna say no?
Deface his mural?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah. The LA got to let that go.
Yeah,
for sure, because it's tacky at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We getting LeBron James. We not getting LeBron James. Still has something left in the tank.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not getting
a lot.
Plenty.
A lot.
Plenty.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're purple and gold, you're purple and gold, right? Like you just gotta admit, all right, I'm not gonna have that conversation no more. It's Lakers
mute.
all day.
It's
you know
mute.
what I mean? But the hate for LeBron is so
Real.
great that you can't even put that behind
because
the purple
Lakers
and gold.
fans ain't got nothing to be standing on right now.
Nothing.
They missed the playoffs in the last 7-8 years. We ain't got, we got a couple of draft picks, a couple of lottery picks, and I guess we got a ball. You know what I mean? We got a ball.
Got 2 balls.
We got 2 balls. So I mean,
Yeah.
The only thing we ever had to trip about as Laker fans was LeVar Ball, and we're not going to accept LeBron James. I'm not rolling with it. I don't get it. Did you follow any X Games?
No, I did not.
You didn't peep the X Games?
I didn't.
I didn't either. I was just friends. I saw like the last gold medal rounds, you know what I'm saying? But what I did notice
coming to San Diego though, up here.
All the people are from San Diego.
Yeah.
Carlsbad, Cardiff, Encinitas, you know what I mean? It's North County.
Belmont Park is going through a huge renovation, so all of these like extreme sports in the next 2 or 3 years, gonna be right here in our backyard.
We need something.
Absolutely.
We need a basketball team.
We do something.
We need a football team. We'll trade the Padres for a for a basketball team and a football team.
Do you think the Chargers would ever come back?
We can't
to San Diego.
We shouldn't let them come back.
Yeah.
You know what the San Diego needs? I'm gonna start it up here right now. We need the Sonics, the Jets. We need the team. We got a reference as the San Diego, right? The Sonics are all about jets and afterburners.
Yeah.
We do a Top Gun thing here. You know what I mean? We need the San Diego Sonics.
There you go.
It sounds good.
It does sound good.
They should let me be the president.
You could build a theme around that
Easily. We can keep the old school
I'm the
logo.
GM.
No problem.
You the president, I'm the GM.
No problem.
Done data.
Done data. Don't forget where you heard it first, the San Diego Sonics. And it ain't no club basketball team. I'm talking about a professional team. Is there anything else, Mr. Tolver, that you want to touch on today?
What are we missing here? What are we missing? I think,
any last bars that you want to leave us with?
Nah, I'm excited about football season. Training camp kicked off, is kicking off, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I think that there's been so much parity in the league lately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody had the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Nope.
And they come out and win the Super Bowl. I mean, the Patriots are still the king of the NFL until somebody continues to knock them off. But I think the Browns are actually going to be a good football team this year.
Are they going to the playoffs?
So this is what I think, right?
Are they going to the playoffs?
I'm not going to say yes to that for a couple of reasons, but I do think that they'll finish above 500.
Okay.
I think Tyrod Taylor is a freaking stud.
Everybody know that. They be hating on Tyrod Taylor.
And now you got Jarvis Landry in the mix, and I think that they'll finish above 500. I really do.
That's not okay. I'll give you that. Like
whether they make the playoffs or not, I don't know. It depends
like,
on what happens in the AFC North, but I do think they'll
9-7,
9-7. 8-8, 9-7.
8-8, ain't no 10-6. No, I ain't giving you that.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Nah, yeah.
But I think they'll go 8-8, 9-7.
That's safe bet.
Yeah,
safe bet. I like that bet. I'm excited for the NFL season too. Is we got away from the madness of what's going on and started look like it's getting geared towards football and not what's not happening off the court.
Dez Bryant is still.
But we've been talking about Dez. We asked, if you follow us on the official McCoy podcast, we asked what was going on with Dez early.
Yeah. Man.
It's interesting.
Tick-tock.
DeMarcus Cousins went to the Warriors, but Dez Bryant still hasn't received a contract. It's been a lot going on in sports.
He'll end up somewhere that they have a veteran quarterback. Mark my words. My words.
You want to throw out anywhere with it?
I think there's a team. They go by San Diego Chargers. I really think that
they're the Los Angeles Chargers. You're holding on.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes, yeah. I caught you out there holding. Yeah, you're still holding on.
But no, I think that's a great place, I think, for somebody like Dez, because they got Keenan Allen on the other side.
Yeah.
And they have Phillip Rivers, who's just a baller, right, from a quarterback position. I think somebody like Dez could really bring Melvin Gordon into that top 5 conversation.
Yeah. Because
now you got 2 guys on both sides that can really stretch the field and make plays. I think that's a great spot for him. That's personally, that's what I would say.
Okay. I think that pretty much covers it. We did a good job. Glad to get back on cadence with you 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Please continue to follow us. It's been the official McCoy Podcast. Please continue to follow us, subscribe across all the official podcast platforms. Shout out to No Coast again.
Appreciate you, No Coast.
Always a pleasure coming in and looking at this fantastic mural on this wall. Yes, it's inspiring. We hope this podcast has been inspiring. This has been a pleasure. Mr. JR Tolver, I'm Jelani McCoy. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.